Good evening and welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your host, the laid back, down to earth life coach, Aisha Israel, and we are ready to get started. So I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had somewhat relaxing, but somewhat busy. I had a very full weekend. My wonderful actress, singer, dancer daughter had a performance on Saturday. And so that, of course, that took up a lot of the day because there's call time, which is hours before the show. And then we sat through the show. It was about Langston Hughes and the Harlem Renaissance. So I was very impressed, very nice, and just proud of my daughter. So there's that. Now, I did notice that the Oscars came on last night, but I did not plan to watch it. So I only saw bits and pieces as members of my family were watching it. So you guys will have to let me know how that was. I heard that Woman King did not get any nominations, and neither did Till. So I may have some opinions about that later, but I don't know how the Oscars went. I don't know if anybody said anything about that. So you will have to let me know. Now, also, I know last week I talked about what is his name? Oh, Chris Rock. Chris Rock has a special on Netflix, and he was talking about a lot of things, but then he got to Will and Jada. And we talked about people's opinions about that. And then this past week, my husband had me watching the Marlon Wayans special where he mentioned Will and Jada. So it was two very different opinions of the situation. So I want to know what you think about that. But not right now. We're going to talk about relationships later on in the show. But tonight we have an exciting boss chick lined up. Her name is Kharyn Beard. She is the owner of Khamryn Boutique here on the south side of Chicago. I believe I was first introduced to her probably on social media. I saw a lot of her fashion coming across my screen, my feed. So I'm like, oh, and it's very nice, very fashionable, very unique. So we're going to talk to her a little bit about that. And just if she has any special things coming up, I have attended a couple of her fashion shows. So she has a lot going on. I'm very impressed. And she has let me know she had a very full week, not just weekend, but week. So we're going to give her some grace if she's a little tired because it is Monday and I know how Mondays go. But without further ado, next up is our boss chick, Kharyn Beard.
Is my mic good? You guys can hear me? All right. Hi.
Hi, welcome to Candid Conversations. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm great. It's Monday, so we are just coming off the weekend. Sometimes I'm a little elevated with my energy, and sometimes I'm barely making it. Today is one of those in between days. I had an observation today at my place of employment, so that kind of gets my nerves a little bit like this. Even if I'm doing a great job, I don't know. I've always been like that. So
I was going to ask what's the observation, but I don't want to take us off topic.
Oh, well, no, I'm a classroom teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they just come in and watch you teach, but it just depends on the kids sometimes.
They laugh. I understand. It's like being a parent. Are they going to embarrass me or are they going to make me proud?
Exactly. You hit it right on the head right there.
Okay.
Yes. So welcome. So what I would like for you to do is just to briefly introduce yourself and just tell us what you do, and then I will ask questions after that.
So my name is Kharyn Beard. I am the co-founder of Khamryn Beard. I'm president and CEO right now. Has ventured off into other things, but we opened that business together, and we have grown in the fashion industry over the last, it'll be 18 years this summer. So it's for quite some time, retail, Now I am actually designing clothes as well. And I've been styling probably also for the last 5 years officially. I didn't know it was called styling at first.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you that actually. Okay. Did you have anything else before I dive in?
The store, we're located in Chicago. I'm assuming most people know you're out of Chicago. So we're in Chicago in the wonderful Auburn Gresham area. I do a lot of community work with schools and other things like that. Our fashion show that you attended, we worked with Kenwood High School to provide arts and programs or teach merchandising and things like that to children because everyone, there aren't really many creative spaces or everything is technology driven or metaverse driven or coding driven. And
Yeah,
that's some kids want to utilize their hands or they have different skill sets. So we try to let them know you can still be a boss and do that.
exactly. And you actually answered some of my questions because I know obviously you have an eye for fashion, but I didn't know if you actually designed anything or if you have designers and how that works. So do
I
you do both?
So I'm not a seamstress. I definitely design. I've been drawing since I was a little girl. So
Okay.
I used to have these kits that were like plates, and I had my mom buy me new kits on the block, and she's like, "Why do you want this?" But it was
Yeah.
because jackets that the girls didn't have. So I'm very much remixing clothing, and I love vintage pieces. I love to like even early on before I started full designing for the store, I would redesign something. So I might repurpose it. I might get a men's suit, switch the lapel out, and taper it down and wear it myself. So I've been very innovative, creative in that way. I used to make clothes for my sister's dolls. So yeah, I've always had an eye for fashion. My dad was in this business 30 years. So I grew up in shoe stores and clothing stores on the weekend. So I was told to go to college and get a degree in business. Of course, that's what I did, and I finished. And I worked corporate for a while. Um, but this is way more satisfying for me.
Yes, I can imagine. Probably more freedom too, right? Because you have the freedom to create.
No, ma'am. You think that? No, no, no,
No?
no, 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 no,
Okay.
no. Um, I work more now than I've ever worked for anyone else. Um, and I have to I know we talked about what is being a boss and things like that, so I'll get into that later. But that balancing act of being a mother, running a business, responsible for other people's incomes, and hustling to make sure that you're making payroll, like it is a lot more responsibility than when I worked as a marketing assistant or as a human resource coordinator. It was much easier. My job was over at 4 or 5 o'clock. My job
Mhm.
is never over. My brain never cuts off.
Yeah, I'm sure. So since you mentioned it, how many employees do you have?
Well, currently, after COVID, we were kind of down some. So right now, I have a manager that's full time. I have a marketing manager. I have a personal assistant, and then I have two part time employees.
Nice. I like the personal assistant. Maybe one day I'll have one of those.
That she's new, and baby, it was because you have to really you're about to have a point, and I needed one. It was time.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to think. One of our friends has a personal assistant, and it's just so interesting because, you call and you're like, "Hey, it's me." You're like, "Yeah, would you like to make an appointment?" No, I don't want to make an appointment.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I get it. But I would love to have one of those. I think. I don't know. Does she make your life easier?
well, it's only part time, so I still do a lot of my own things, but they're smaller things that I've learned to delegate. I had to learn to do that because you get burned out.
Yeah.
And um with my sister or with me, it was a lot easier balance because we were both bosses.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of tasks that were split down the middle that I now have acquired I have to do all by myself. I am very creative. I love like coming up with ideas and marketing and you know and I'm people oriented. I still like to be on the sales floor. I will still put some shoe on, like nothing is above at my business. So my sister was very organized. She was more, did they ship us what they said they shipped us? They didn't. Somebody has to write a letter. So now having to do that and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So trying to just get an assistant where I can make myself a list and kind of go down the list and say, okay, well, these are at least 3 calls to make, and let's see what they're saying for invoices versus, it gives me, I still have to do the work because I still got to make the list, but
Yeah.
it gives me someone else to help check some marks off that to-do list for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not an everyday thing. Right now, she's just part-time, but it definitely helps because you get burned out.
Agreed. I understand. Yes. Now I have a question about, okay, so with you said 13 years you've been doing this full
Eight.
time?
Oh no, so when we first opened in 2005, my first trade show. I was 6 months pregnant, and the plan was to open while I was on maternity leave, so I wouldn't have to lose money in 3 months, and then we could at least get
Yeah.
on track with the store. And then my sister would stay in the store, and I'd work my corporate job and come to the store after. She was just graduating from college, so she was going to be in there in time. So the plan was for me to do that for 3 to 5 years, and we outgrew our business plan in a year and a half.
Nice.
So yeah, it was great, kind of.
You said kind of.
Yeah, kind of. So I went from doing both to just being at the store, but that 2 years was very.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Okay, cool. So then how did you decide to start doing the fashion shows?
Oh, so we did. So the fashion shows were really every 5 years we had a big. Like we had
Okay.
small. I used to participate in other people's shows, but that was part of the legwork of growing the business early on. So
Mhm.
as I said, I had a brand new baby. What I would do is I was breastfeeding and had a corporate job. Okay, it was,
Wow.
and I had a husband who was sacrificing. But
Yeah.
at that time, so I would go to work, pump, come home, spend time with my child, and then there was my sister had two friends who was big on parties in the city. We would open up parties with a fashion show, and I was young. And I got married younger. I didn't really party. I didn't go to clubs at the time. I probably have more social life now than I've ever had as a younger person. But
Right.
we would go to these parties, open up, and I go right back home with my kid by the time she woke up for her next feeding. So when I say no, nothing was beneath me. Like being a boss and building a business, you have to be willing to work up.
Yeah.
Like stand outside on 83rd and Ashland on a hot day and hit every car that stopped at the light if I had to on a slow day.
All
Uh,
right.
we did a lot of footwork and early on to grow the business, get the brand out there. There was MySpace back then. So like if
Well,
Instagram, I'm sure I would have been an Instagram hit back then. I
yeah,
was
you were working MySpace.
right. I was before my time. Um, so we did a lot of actual legwork. Starting a business now, I would do it different. Probably would start online and then go to a brick and mortar, because you got to build a community now. It's a different space.
True. And that brick and mortar, I know a lot of people have started businesses that way and ended up not making it because they didn't understand everything that went into it. So it is a lot more friendly now to open up something online and then be able to move to a brick and mortar. So I totally get
A
that.
lot less overhead, and the way the world is now, there's so many things and resources online that you can get to open. Before, you were going to trade shows and spending a lot of money. I think the barriers of entry for a lot of businesses, the costs have gone down. Then it's a matter of the competition has gone up too, because of that, more people in the space than it's ever been. But that's when you have to learn. I literally, when we just talked back from a retreat, it was this sauce to success. You are yourself. Don't worry about how many other people are in the market space.
Love
Focus on doing and what makes you different, and stick to that.
it. Okay. I like it. I'm sad that I missed that. I know. Now, are you friends with Shantae?
I am.
Oh, okay. So because when she was on, well, she and Crystal were on the show last season, and she's
Okay.
like, "You have to come to this retreat. You have to come to this retreat." But my life is complicated, so
No,
I saw it, and I'm like, "I want to go."
yourself,
What'd
child.
you say?
I tell you, you have to go. You will
Okay.
come. You will come back refreshed. Just call it a refresh. You will feel refreshed, mind, body, and soul. It was wonderful. Um,
Well,
Yes.
your pictures were amazing. I saw them on Instagram. I'm like, oh man, I did miss something
And
special.
nobody parties harder than a bunch of women who don't get to party often either.
I can imagine.
No, so it's hours during the day and a wonderful turn up at night. It's a wonderful balance. It's good.
Okay,
You
well, I'm gonna definitely make that fit next year. Now, does she do it every year?
they have been, it's only 3 years, so I've only been going the last 3 years. So I'm assuming that they will continue.
Okay. All right, let's get back on topic. Okay, so with the fashion shows, I wanted to know now, how do you find your models?
Ooh. So, oh my gosh. So when I started, all my models were my friends because that's what my budget would allow.
Smart. Okay.
Now we do model calls, and I work with Carlton Spencer, who is a celebrity stylist, and he works behind the scenes. He helps produce the show in the background with the ladies. So we do a model call. We have to kind of know, there were so many, like this time, so many great girls came out, but I couldn't choose them all because there's a limited space in the background. And then there's outfits. And then if I'm designing the outfits, that collection has to fit the model. So like if they've already been made, I have to find someone whose body type fits the pieces that I have already. So it's a process. We had to like, I didn't use some girls that I really wanted to use that I'll probably use for something else, but
Mhm.
it was a great turnout. And normally what I'm doing is the show will have a theme. And its last theme was, we were going through decades of Black up to today. So we went through the roaring 20s, the 40s, the 60s, you know. So I was looking for looks. I was looking for a girl that could embody those decades.
Yes.
That was about. So it was kind of more of a look thing. Early,
Okay.
not that complex. But as I grow, I want my shows to grow. I want them to be more artistic and creative. So that's where we're going now. And they used to be like every like five, like the really big shows, five
Yeah.
to 15. So COVID made it so I didn't have a 15-year show. And I
Oh.
brought up Shantae. Shantae and I were at the retreat, and I was talking, and I was like, it's been rough. I was like, but I'm just gonna skip 15. She was like, no, you're not. And I was
Oh.
like, what do we have? A sweet 16? She's like, that's absolutely what we're having. So that goes to really the point, friendship and teamwork and being a boss. Like being a boss shouldn't be you should really have a strong support system. And when we talked about an assistant now, like there were years I felt like I wasn't growing the way I should have because I was trying to be and do it. You
Mhm.
can't grow and be and do everything. You have to get a team around you that supports your dreams, your ideas, can help you go to the next level. So it's very important to do that. And me learning to, I think my biggest lesson is learning to see people for what they are and let go of relationships that I need to let go of. I didn't do that before. Like, I'm just gonna keep you because it seems like the nice godly thing to do. And work in business.
Mhm.
You know, being a boss chick also means hard choices, like possibly letting some, possibly moving away from friendships or relationships that, are detrimental, and that's not easy. Those are
No.
not choices.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you because some of us are really people, and like I don't like to leave people out. I really don't like to hurt people's feelings. Now I am direct, and I've been told that sometimes the way that I deliver things has been can hurt somebody's feelings, but I literally don't mean to. I need somebody to tell me. But yeah, I did have to learn exactly what you're saying, that my ideas aren't the only ideas. I don't have to do all of this by myself. There are some creative voices that can help and really do care. So I totally agree with you. And I'm glad you said that. To the point where I don't even have to ask you what makes you a boss chick. I think you said like,
No, you asked me because there were some things I left out because I was like, I didn't know if that was like a
oh, okay. All right. So let me ask you, Corinne, what makes you a boss chick in your own words?
I personally think being a lot boss means being a leader, and that means you have to lead by example. We've touched on it already. Like, there's no job too big or too small. It's my job to convey like value, to
Mhm.
inspire others, and motivate. And you can't be a good leader if you aren't motivating your team, if you aren't. So sometimes, to me, that's the biggest challenge, making sure that everything I do brings value, that I'm setting an example. And not only for my employees or for my clients that are coming in contact with me, but for my daughter. I'm a mother. I'm a mother.
Yes.
And learning to balance. And that was a difficult thing, learning, I was young. I opened the store in my early 20s. I was married,
Mm.
a lot of responsibility for early 20s,
Yes. Yes.
and I learned to also give myself grace, because you don't always make the right decisions. You
Yes.
don't, you're doing the best you can when you can. So to me, being a boss is leading by example, showing grace and mercy to yourself and others, and hustling all the way through.
I mean, I'm impressed, but I'm also surprised to hear you say that you were standing on the corner passing out flyers and everything. Yeah, you really
Yeah.
did the footwork. That's amazing. Okay, so well, do you have any advice that you could leave to an aspiring boss chick, somebody who is working hard or not sure if they're working hard enough or any of that?
If you're not sure if you're working hard enough and you're really actually contemplating it, give yourself some. When you think you have it all figured out, that's when you're in a bad spot. Never stop learning. When I go to these retreats and I do things, there's certain things I spend my money on, and self advancement is one of those things. You can't pick everything, so you really have to weed out what's for you and what's good and what's you investing yourself in. But when you do that, when I go to these events, there are sometimes really young girls who are brand new in business, and then there might be other vets, and there might be somebody older that's just starting. I never go into any room thinking that I know everything, nor do I ever want to. I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, because you
Right.
aren't anything.
That's
So
right.
I leave these events, whether it's a young girl that just started, try to learn something from every type of person there. Like, take away something. And that will be my lesson. Like, never stop learning, never stop growing, and show yourself some mercy. We all, at some point, think we're not doing enough,
We're more
but
critical of ourselves. Yeah.
keep going.
Yes, agreed. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you allowing me to interview you. I feel so privileged to
Thank
have
you for
had
interviewing
your
me.
time.
This is a great interview. I love the setup. So I'm new to, I'm not a big on technology. So you walked me through it. We're gonna apologize for any delays. That was me. All right.
We we did good.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. If you would like to, later on in the show, we do answer relationship questions. I don't know if that's your thing or not, but if you'd like to, you can stay and help us answer some of the viewers' questions. But next up, you have been. I'm not sure how to read that reaction. Is that a yes or a no?
I can try it. I can
Okay,
too, right?
say it again.
I can. Am I allowed to plead the fifth?
Sure, it's
Oh,
candid conversation. So
okay,
whatever you feel is the correct answer at the time, we'll go with that.
okay, okay. That's fair.
Okay, cool. All right, hold on tight. Next up is our spotlight on mental health with Dr.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. I am excited to be back here on Candid Conversations, and this time coming in with the spotlight on mental health. So, I wanted to talk to all of my ladies out there about boundaries because I feel like this is a conversation that I often have to have, not only with my therapy clients, but just with friends in regards to how impactful this is to your mental health. So, setting and maintaining healthy boundaries will not only help you conserve your emotional energy, but it also helps you put yourself into a better mental state. With all of the things that we have going on in our lives, we are mothers, we are business women, we are professionals, we have all the different things that we do in the community. We need to be able to know when to say no and enough is enough. And that starts with our ability to be able to have a healthy boundary. And so sometimes it feels like having a boundary is being unavailable or being difficult, but actually having boundaries allows you to establish what works for you and what does not work for you. And they're both physical and mental. So you have to look at them from that perspective. Just some examples of what a boundary would look like: simply saying no, but saying no without guilt. Understanding that you saying no doesn't mean anything about you, it doesn't characterize you, it doesn't define you personally. It is just you being able to say no to the things that you know you do not have the ability to take on. It's about taking responsibility for your own actions and your emotions. The flip side of that is to not take on other people's stuff. So it's not your responsibility to own other people's actions. It's also not your responsibility to own other people's emotional states. It's feeling supported by your loved ones. That is a boundary, making sure that they are communicated to about what you need to feel supported. It's not feeling responsible for what is happening with other people's lives, as if just because you've had an interaction with them, that means that you have derailed or shifted or guided the directions that their life has gone. Again, those are choices that they're made, and that is not your responsibility. And then also making sure that you set what are the physical boundaries that are necessary for you. So, just to break down a little bit more, some of the benefits for having healthy boundaries: it conserves your emotional energy. For me, this is probably the biggest one. With the amount of things that we carry on ourselves, with the state of our world today, the things that we see day in and day out that are happening around us, being able to conserve that emotional energy and invest that in the things that matter the most for us is really important. So you can do this to help put yourself in a better mental state. And I think that in this day and time, we realize that our mind is very powerful and it guides so many things for us. Being healthy mentally also interacts with our physical health. So there is a win win when we do this. Another benefit is more independence and more self esteem. Oftentimes, when you don't have good, healthy emotional boundaries, you are not as autonomous and in control of your life as you would like to be, because you're relying on others to do things that you should be able to have a say so in for your life. So it's really important to have that independence. It's a self esteem booster. So it will allow you to feel assertive. And when you are assertive in those situations, every time that happens, it allows you to feel more confident in your ability to be able to do it in the future. It also beneficial to your relationships. If you want to have better relationships, you have to be able to create and maintain your boundaries for your life and also respect those for your spouse, partner, friends, family, whoever it may be. When you do that, you will see an improvement in the relationships that you have. One of the keys with this one is setting clear communication and expectations up front that will allow your relationships to be healthier and not have to deal with the toxic energy that comes in when boundaries are crossed or never established to begin with. It also will help influence the way you behave, make you more conscious of your behavior, your words, your interactions, allowing you to act in a more positive way and allow you to have more positive interactions. So, hopefully, something that I said will allow you to reassess some of the things that you're doing in your life. But I guarantee you, if you start just from scratch, if you're not good at setting boundaries and finding ways to basically establish them in all of your different relationships and interactions, and be willing to also ask those people who are in relationship with you, even those professionally, what things that they need for themselves, you'll see not only a positive outlook in your relationships and your interactions, but you'll also see a boost to your emotional and mental health. And now, up next is our, and I totally went blank.
Good evening, everybody. I feel like
Hello. Hey.
I can see Dr. Malaika Brown. Okay. All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Don, what kind of cup is that? That is not a wine glass. What is going on?
I don't know if I'm coming or going. Sorry.
All right.
Taking my vitamins.
Man, okay. You taking vitamins. LaTanya's got tea. What's going on? Everybody feeling okay?
You know, I'm just really trying to make sure I have a good evening after this. So it's like a stress relieving tea with chamomile, lavender, and things like that. Okay. And I have to drive home, so I didn't want to have wine.
Oh, that's smart. That's very responsible.
Yeah, I'm trying to be responsible.
I have some for you.
All right. Well, we have Dr. Malaika Brown with us and Khamryn.
I feel so short.
From Khamryn Beard. All right, ladies. So I'm going to explain the rules of Girl Talk. So we have our viewers submit anonymous questions, scenarios, or personal truth. And so when it's your turn, you have the option of choosing a question, a scenario, or a personal truth. And you have the opportunity to answer it uninterrupted. And then when you're done, we'll chime in. I cannot with this cup. Okay.
That's it. My bad. I'll cover up.
No, it's fine. It's just fine. It's so silly. All right. So how I usually go is I start with the lady who is next to me on the screen. So Dr. Brown, that would happen to be you. Are you ready?
I am.
You're a psychologist, right? Or a psychiatrist?
Psychologist.
Psychologist. Okay. So I think you can handle it. Would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth?
Question.
These days, is it more important that men have single women and just time with kids, or the complete marriage package?
Okay, trying to understand what they're asking with that question. Are they asking whether or not the women they go into relationship with are single, or they come into the relationship with kids? Is that the question?
I am going to assume, along with you, that is the question. The thing is, when they submit it, it is totally anonymous. I can't even call them or email them back to get clarification. So we just some of them don't even make it to the show because I can't decipher.
Can you put it back up once?
I think it's
Yeah.
These days
it's
more important that men have single women and just time with kids.
Oh,
What do they mean by just
seems
time?
to me like marriage is being in a marriage important.
Okay, so let me take it from that perspective. Having time with just the wife in the marriage prior to the kids coming, I could take it from that perspective.
It sounds like
I think the opposite of that. Like, is it okay to just have women and spend time with children, like not really have a relationship with a woman?
Or marry the woman.
Or marriage.
Oh, got you.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm gonna say it like this. It all depends on what the person needs and how they're built, right? Some people are relationship people as well as being good parents, and then some are good at one and not good at the other, and vice versa. So I say you need to play on your strengths and be honest about what that is. If you're a good parent but a terrible partner, it's okay to just be a good parent and have your hookups or whatever it's going to be to fulfill all your physical and emotional needs when they need to be met, than to enter into a marriage and make a bond and a covenant with someone and cause harm to the person emotionally. I would rather you be single and just be the parent, as opposed to you being with them because you feel like that's the right thing to do simply because you have children together.
Very interesting perspective. A lot of closed mouths. Okay. So I'm gonna say I agree with you as far as emotional responsibility, right? Because I do have a friend that did say to me one time. She said, "My dad is a great dad, but he was always a horrible husband." Are you okay over there?
Oh.
He's allergic to relationships.
He's allergic to relationships.
Oh.
All right. So So I think that you have a good point. But I do kind of have an issue with the breakdown of the Black family. Like I just would love for the family unit to be a thing again, and it seems to be so, I don't know, rare these days, and I think that that's unfortunate.
No, I agree with you on that, but also forcing a family unit that's toxic and dysfunctional just for the sake of having one is worse than not having one complete. So that's the way I look at it.
I would have to agree. I would say that that's what I see a lot. I see a lot of people wanting the family dynamic, the marriage. They want it not because they actually want it, but they put on a facade that they want it because it looks right. Like society accepts it. It's more approving, or that's what their parents did. So if they don't end up married with whoever they have kids with, then they feel like, oh, I messed up the family. I did something wrong. So I've seen on multiple occasions from guys that I've dated and from like friends of mine who have kids with women that they know they need to leave alone, like on a serious level, but they won't leave them alone because they have this mindset of that's my baby mama, she gonna always want me, or vice versa. They be thinking, oh, he gonna always want me. But the truth is that it really makes for dysfunction for the children because y'all are teaching them things that they should be avoiding. Like I will say that my mom wasn't married for a long time of my life, but she was consistent with the same guy. It was the same guy. That's my pops. That's what I call him. That's what he has always been. And so when I see people try and force something, I'm just like, go with what works for you. Like some people don't need a title. Um, some people don't need a ring. Some people have an understanding of, look, I know where we are. You know where we are. We're good. But I think that it's not more so what they want to do is something they feel like they have to do. Because if they didn't feel the pressure from society or from their parents setting that example, then they would be completely okay with saying, okay, we have a baby, we can figure out how to co-parent, and let me go and find love, and you go and find love. But the truth is that they don't be supportive. After things don't work in a relationship, people are not supportive of them finding what makes them happy. And that's where the toxicity comes in because they be thinking, who's better for you than me? Who all the stuff I done took from you, everything I done put up with from you, because you chose to put up with that stuff, sis. You could have gotten out. That was your choice. But they make it the man's responsibility and go, oh, I took all this from you. The truth is that everybody should do what makes them happy. So if being married makes y'all happy, then go get married. But if y'all know y'all gonna be running through the house or down the street busting each other lip and nose, leave each other alone. And I'm saying that because I swear, firsthand, I've seen it. Like,
Okay, well, I definitely agree with that. I'm not for toxicity at all. Anybody else before we move on to the next?
I say get a boyfriend and a husband.
tell us why. Tell us why. You know what, Don? It sounds like the TikTok or it's a post, a meme that be going around. They be like, do a DM somebody, hop your DMs, and the girl respond, I got a boyfriend. He was like, okay, you gonna let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband? And I was like, look, now, wait a minute.
Do both. It can be your husband's brother husbands in a minute. It's okay. Okay, no comment. I quit. Next.
All right. Well, we'll move on. All right, Khamryn, would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth?
I'll take the scenario.
All right, let's do a scenario. Okay. Okay. All right. Your man has a baby by your sister, and your kids look alike. Do you hide your child or not acknowledge her? Stay with the man since you were there first. Keep up with your sister and son's brother, or leave them both.
Oh my God. Just
That's
what I was talking about.
I'm so glad you picked the scenario and not me, child, because what?
Do we need to put it up?
You need to get rid of that one. Go.
That's
to
a lot.
Loaded question. The question started off wrong. I was like, if y'all what?
Right.
Well, how old are these kids? Oh, it says baby. Okay. if your man has a baby by your sister and your kids look alike? You hide your child, not acknowledge hers.
What? Okay, get out of here.
Okay, so there's one. The child has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with the adult's ignorance. And anytime your sister sleeps with your man, that's a whole nother situation. So y'all relationship isn't right anyway. Anytime your man will sleep with your sister, there's a problem there also. So my vote, the question was, would you get rid of both of them? You get rid of on those type of levels, but I don't know that you can get rid of family. So sister is probably going to be something you have to give and love, and your niece or nephew you're going to have to love and move forward. That's a way anybody have to deal with.
Yeah, that's.
But if that's the situation, yeah, I say leave the man alone though, because that's the ultimate disrespect. What else you gonna do to me?
Exactly.
What's next?
I'm more disgusted with my sister. I don't care about that man. He can kick rocks, but I know you did not lay on your back.
Maybe she didn't lay on her back.
Oh, I know you didn't get on top of either. I just know you did it. I know you did.
Oh, I think they're both. I don't know that. How can you trust either one of them?
My question is, what does it matter what the child look like? Talking about and the kids look alike. So if they don't look alike, then you treat it like it never happened. Is that what we're implying? Like if they don't look alike, we're gonna act like they ain't got the same daddy. Mm-hmm. What are we asking? Like what are we saying? Mm-hmm. We're talking about if they look alike. First of all,
can we answer that question?
What'd you say, Don?
We can answer that question. It's like ridiculous.
I was expecting you, Don, to come with Sister Wives. You're always referring to that show.
Yeah, but not like that.
Those are literal sisters.
That's literally brother, husband. Like,
yeah,
like, it's too much. All right.
I don't even want to comment on it. That's almost like, I agree. Like,
yuck.
That is first of all, if a friend does that, that's like the ultimate disgusting, no, disrespect, girl code, you broke it. And then for a sister to do that, like you said, is like you will still have to deal with your family on a certain level, but the guy is stupid. And then like the kids don't have anything to do with it. And of course the kids will look alike.
Y'all sisters.
I look like my cousin. My cousin and I favor, and we have different dads. So family, I mean, the genes are there. So I agree with Don. Okay. That one was like,
I have tapped out already.
That's also probably why there are people who don't hang out with their family.
Like, I don't know, but whoever question it is, if you're watching and you dealing with that,
leave
the gloves, sis. Just get the gloves.
Run. Just run.
Get the gloves. You owe your sister one. Go get the gloves. You can run from dude, but I owe my sister one. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I feel you on that.
Yeah. All right, okay, go.
I don't have the capacity.
Yeah. All right, so LaTanya, it's on you.
I'll take a question.
Oh, I can't see. What just happened? Should a boss chick follow news like Forbes women?
I don't think there's any harm in it. I follow a lot of different type of pages like the TED Talks.
Sorry.
Oh. I follow different pages like the TED Talks. The Forbes women is definitely good. I don't think it's a must, but I don't think it's any harm in following those type of either pages, reading the magazines, looking at the articles, signing up for the newsletters. It's definitely motivation. You know, the more you're around boss chicks and women who are at stages where you would like to be in your life, the more you'll see that it's possible. So it's no harm in it. I don't think it's a must because, I mean, Forbes women is like here is like way up and some people can't even see that far. you know, so
That's a
there's
good
no
point.
harm in it.
Yeah, it's one avenue. It's one option.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not. I agree with you. It's not necessary. That particular medium is not necessary. We lost Don. But yeah, you should surround yourself with people who are doing something. There's a quote that says something like, if you are around 10 broke people. Didn't you say this quote before, LaTanya?
Probably
Like,
so. I'm always like, I'm into motivational stuff real heavy. I invest in
right.
myself a lot with those type of things. So yeah, um, there is a thing about like your network. Your network is your net worth. So, if you're around people who have a lot of influence, who are doing good things, you definitely don't want to be like the lagging wheel. So I definitely agree. Get yourself in the room with the right people, read the right articles. I even had to like clean up my IG page.
Yeah.
One time I was following some story. You know how you go down a rabbit hole? It was like some story about someone who passed away and the person was young. So I was like looking at all these pages and my page was like junky. So I just had to change my whole algorithm so that I can see more positive things. I didn't want to see all this club type of stuff, but I was like deep in the rabbit hole at the time. And that's when I realized about the algorithm. And I was like, oh, I need to start following different people and doing different things. So, yeah, to answer the question, I don't think it's a must, but I think it won't hurt at all.
I think that's a good point you made about cleaning up your social media. And I say that because I know years ago when Facebook, I remember I had a cousin that would make these comments in reference to things that she clearly has seen on her news feed. And I'd be wondering, what in the world do you see on your news feed? Like, I don't see any of that type of stuff. Like, I mean, just the things that she would say would be crazy. I mean, people fighting and people doing all kinds of things. Whereas I'm getting like, happy Monday, happy I'm like, what in the world are you seeing on your news feed? So yeah, that algorithm, it follows your lead basically. So what you're looking at, it will give you more of that. So if you're trying to change what you see or trying to change the input that you have coming in, you're going to have to change your searches, your output.
And even what you watch, because my brother sends me a lot of baby videos. And so now I'm seeing like all the cute little baby videos. I was like, okay,
Enough.
with this. Like,
that's funny. Okay, cool. Are we done with that?
Yeah, or I am.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in before we move on? All right, cool. All right, Monique, it's up to you.
I'm almost scared to pick. These questions went off the chain tonight. Except for LaTanya's. Let me do a scenario. I'm nervous.
If a new boss chick has a thieving sister, wow, what are you all dealing with out there? Okay, has a thieving sister, should she be completely responsible for the monies her thieving sister steals out of your purse?
Yes.
My purse.
So I'm guessing. Wait, can you put that back up there, please? If a new boss chick has a thieving sister, should she be completely responsible for the monies her thieving sister steals out of your purse? Okay, got it.
Why is she responsible at all for somebody else going in my stuff?
Because she shouldn't have brought her thieving ass sister to the party.
Did she know her sister was stealing before?
Yeah, like that's a thieving sister. She stole about her house too.
That's true. No, like you that. You shouldn't bring her if you know she be stealing. But if it's to the extremes of her stealing out of people's purse, do you just not care about your stuff? Because somebody going to that extremes where they're stealing from people at an event that you brought them to, you can't tell me she don't steal from you.
Yep,
I know she's stealing from you too.
She named her thieving. That's somebody that's.
I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of wild. Like, it ain't even. What does it matter whose sister it is? It's gonna be a problem if you go at my stuff, regardless. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. I think that we want to hold the boss chick accountable because, like Don said, you brought her.
Yeah. Just give me my money. You take it up
The
with her
truth
later.
is it's the responsibility of the person who committed the action, which is the sister. Now, as a actual boss chick, knowing that you got a sister that's stealing, and I'd have caught your sister stealing out my purse, I shouldn't have to be asking how I'm gonna get my money back. You should have just been like, "Look, I'm sorry, I won't bring her back. I'm probably not gonna mess with you no more." But I do feel like something needs to be said at the point of. But I'm not gonna lie. For me, it does make sense to blame. Oh, I'm congested, man. It does make sense to blame the to put some of the blame on the sister, the boss chick, because she brought her there. Like, you know how like when you was little, you're responsible for your little sister, your little brother, whoever. You're responsible for them, regardless. But the truth is we can't really put it on her because she didn't actually do it. She just got to make better choices about the people she be around. Like, stop bringing her around and stuff if you know she ain't doing nothing but stealing. Like, you leveling up and she taking it as an opportunity to score bigger on people instead of seeing, hey, maybe I can do better in life and make more. Like, I know she your sister, but why y'all still around each other?
But you said something. Whereas, okay, if that's your sister and you're calling her thieving sister, that you knew she was a thief, right? So you are kind of held. You should be held accountable in the sense that why would you bring her around?
Yeah, I get that. Why would you bring her around? But the facts are the facts. She committed the crime. She's the one who's going to face the penalty for it. I feel like she should do better at picking the people she bring around. Because now you're not invited no more because it's not a problem with you, but you know you got that sister that be with you that be stealing. So now we don't want you around at all.
What'd you say, Don?
Nothing. That's another dumbass question.
Don, you're not in a good mood today.
I mean, come on. Who's responsible? They both responsible. Give me my money. You give it to me and you get it from her later, or she deal with the cops. I don't play with liars. I don't play with thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Give it back. You can do it the easy way, or you can handle it.
We're going to get it back one way or another.
Yeah, so
Right.
that being said, if you have a thieving family member, don't bring them around me.
Please.
Okay? Because I don't hide my stuff. And I don't want to be on edge. And you know how your little thieving sister, cousin, friend is.
Yeah.
These sisters are problematic today.
Yeah, people don't wake up and just start stealing. She's been stealing for a while, girl. Like, I'm starting to think y'all still together and you done set this up. Like, nah.
Oh wow.
Nah, because if you know she steal and you around a bunch of people with money, did you bring her to steal from us?
Oh wow. I hadn't thought of that. I mean, could be, you never know. All right, let's retire that question. Let's move on to Dawn.
Did we do a personal truth yet?
No.
Nope.
I'll do a personal.
Have you ever been to a strip club? If not, why not? If so, would you go again?
Mic check. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been to a strip club up 1,000 times. Yes.
Wow.
If it's
not only do they say they have each other's back, they are.
It's a business.
Oh wow. Terrible.
It's a whole conglomerate.
Hello.
I'm sorry to cut into your question. Okay. Yours was you said you've been 1,000 times.
I've been to a strip club before. Would I go again? It's not off the table. I mean, if we're hanging out, we're hanging out.
Now, do you go to the strip? Because I saw an interview with Gabrielle Union, and she goes to strip clubs with women. Do you go to both, or do you go to just the ones with the men, or do you? I'm just curious.
Do they have men strip clubs?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been. I've only seen strippers at like bachelorette parties or birthday parties. Or
they do. I've been to a male review, it was just like they didn't take. Have you seen all the king's women, like all the women, all the king's
men?
I saw an ad. I haven't actually sat down and watched the show.
But no, it's been mostly women because I'm hanging with the guys. I don't say, yo, let's go to the strip club because some hoes. But I'd be like, all right, whatever. Some of them are entertaining, like the ones with the skills. It don't be the back, the dirty, low down, like it be some skills, man. Like, damn,
like you did that
like, oh man, her feet are on the ceiling. This is awesome.
Oh wow. Okay. Now I do want to take. Now I would like to take a pole dancing class because I've heard that it really it makes you fit. And y'all know I've been struggling with my weight for like the last 3 years. COVID did not do me any favors. But yeah, so I've heard that it makes you fit. Like there are certain things that your core has to be really strong to be able to do. Yeah. I haven't heard about any feet on the ceiling though, but
what?
Aspirations, right?
You have to have a lot of core strength and
upper body.
It's what did you say?
Upper body. They be
pulling. Yeah, like your
arms gotta be.
Yeah. Whew. I said I wanted to take a class too, just to see if the work that I've been doing is like strong enough to hold me up. My core is pretty strong now.
So should I get my workout on like you before I even try it? Like, am I gonna hurt myself?
Go for it. They teach you how to do it.
Oh, I don't know.
You're gonna hurt yourself. You either gonna be able to go up the pole or you're not. It's not.
Or not.
Right. It ain't gonna hurt. Trust me, it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Tip, don't wear leggings though. You gotta wear something with skin. I done did a couple pole dancing classes. I can still barely get off the ground. Doesn't matter how much I go to the gym. I'm not.
Don't wear pants.
Meant to be a stripper. Okay.
You have to have that
grip. Have that skill. I don't have it. I've tried it. It didn't work for me. But it's fun. Like, no, I didn't try stripping. Let me clear the air. I tried the pole dancing classes. It didn't work. It's very fun, though. It's very fun. Try if you're looking for fun and still kind of fit. I would try a chair dancing class first and then go pole dancing.
I did that for my cousin's bachelorette party.
Oh, okay.
We had to do that chair dancing. Yeah, that was fun. But I didn't feel it was like a major workout. But then again, I was a lot younger then. So now it might be a super workout. But look, we haven't let Khamryn or Dr. Malaika into the conversation. Did you guys have anything to add? I don't want to leave you out.
Oh, no, I've been to a strip club, but I've been to the one with the men's. So I've never been where there are girls. But I do see videos of strippers. And like Dawn said, some of the stuff that they can do, I'm in amazement. I'm clapping my hands like, yes, girl. Go ahead, girl. Like Usher's show. If you see the clips from Usher's show with the strippers, I've watched them several times. So I'm like, how does she do that? Like, it's amazing to me. As far as pole dancing classes, I have taken it. I actually work out regularly, and I have a trainer. And I'm gonna tell you, pole dancing is a different type of physical strength. Yep. And I was in there struggling, and I'm like, listen, I deadlift, and I was struggling on this pole. I said, what is happening? So. It's fun though, and my sister does it. That's her workout, and she loves it.
Okay, all right, cool. Khamryn,
I think twice. So
what'd you say?
Oh, I said I've seen Usher's show twice, live and in living color. So if that counts, they were extremely talented.
Oh yeah, some skills.
Okay, cool. All right. Did everybody get a chance to choose? Yep. Okay, so I will take what do we have? We had 2 questions and 2 scenarios and 1 person to choose. I'll take a person to choose to round it out. Oh wow, didn't expect it to be this long. Okay, you are working with a famous client, and before you can agree to begin working with this client, you have to tell them your most embarrassing and immoral moment. What do you say? Most embarrassing.
Why would I ever have to do that? But okay.
I know, right? People are just bored. They're sending in questions. I really don't know. Not that I haven't had any embarrassing moments. I may have blocked them out. I'm sure that something I've done has been embarrassing. I don't, you guys know I'm real careful about my actions and my behavior. I don't know. Have you guys seen me do anything embarrassing?
Mhm.
I can't think of anything. I definitely probably would not tell a client that. I would be like, you know what, let me give you some
Or
resources.
that's,
What'd you say, Corinne?
or all your YouTube followers. Like who shares their biggest secret with random people? That's not a good idea. So the answer to that question is don't do that. You better make something up that's close to embarrassing. That's not your most embarrassing. Give them
I
an
learned.
embarrassing, but not your
Right.
most embarrassing.
I mean, they even asked
My
for
question is,
more.
why do they need to know this? That's my question. Why do you need to know that for me to do
How
business with
much
you?
are they
Yeah.
paying? Because if you're paying, I will
Well,
tell you what my English teacher taught me in 4th grade. If you ain't got nothing to write about, make it up and make it sound good. Who gonna tell you lying? They don't know your life.
Your teacher
How much
doesn't
y'all
know.
paying? Is it worth me lying about? Like, can I repent after this and say, God, I'm so sorry. That's the most elaborate lie I've ever told. But I was trying to secure the bag. You feel me? Like, if it's not for a lot of money, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't really, like I'm personally a person who I don't think that I'm really goofy, so I'm not easily embarrassed. Like, you really got to try hard to do something that's going to embarrass me. So if you say, well, what's your most embarrassing moment? Your embarrassment or my embarrassment? Like, which embarrassment we talk about? Because I don't really get embarrassed, but something that you might find embarrassing. But the truth is if I'm just being honest, I'm just going to make something up and run with it. Why would I miss out on money because you asked a question that I could just tell you something that you can't verify anyway? You wasn't there.
Okay. All right now.
So I guess if I had to make up something, I know anything embarrassing would probably have to be like, I don't know, maybe like passing gas in public on accident. Like I can't think of what. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not goofy, so I'm not like out just doing stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really know, but I can't think of anything. I'm sorry. Embarrassing?
I think the solid question is, are you willing to make up something to try to make the money? Or you gonna miss out on money because you chose to keep some to yourself?
Well, I think after this show, I'm gonna probably have to go think of some things to have something ready, just ready in my pocket. But I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well, you
Anybody?
gotta be careful. You still gotta be careful. I mean, embarrassing is one thing, immoral is something.
Immoral, I just would
Set up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna pass on it. No, the most immoral thing is lying about this embarrassment.
Agreed. All right, y'all. Well, I'm sorry. These were some crazy questions today. I promise you, if you could see the ones that didn't make it. I love you all. I appreciate the viewers. But we are here to really help. So, I mean, have a good time, of course, but we want to help. So, give us some questions. I would tell them about. Oh wow. Okay.
What was that
That
question?
is
Do we want to know?
Say it again.
Did we want to know that last question?
Okay. Oh, you want to read it out loud?
I didn't see it.
Okay, can you put it back up there, please? What was the last comment? The last comment. Okay. I would tell them about the time I thought I was riding a skateboard and crashed into a man's car. He gets out of the car and yells, I could have ran you over. I said, oh, you didn't see me? 12. Oh, she was 12 years old. That sounds dangerous. Now I can say I do for somebody, but I wasn't embarrassed. They should have been embarrassed. But anyway, somebody tried to get into my car. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they thought it was their car. It was in a parking lot, but I wasn't. But they should have been. But yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, Dr. Malika, for your mental health spotlight, and thank you
you're
for
welcome.
here, being a boss chick and your journey. And I'm sure that it helped some people who are trying to be a boss chick, trying to get out there and just keep going, right? A lot of times we get discouraged, but we are not going to do that now. So I appreciate you. If any of the ladies, did you have anything you wanted to say before I say goodbye? Okay, so next week we have, I should not have done that. I don't remember what we have next week. I think next week is Miss Malika. Next Lika the Diva. Good Lord. Okay, it's Monday, y'all. I had a day. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And we will see you next